She talks. She listens. She cares. She's Joyce Oglesby. In today's ever-changing world, Joyce takes on the hottest issues. She fights for what's right in America.
I wanna leave a legacy. How will they remember me?
Just Ask Joyce is brought to you by Guaranteed Total Construction, Window World, Nan's and Crafts Florists, Squire Boone Caverns, and About Face Spa and Salon. Now, just ask Joyce.
And leave that kind of legacy.
Welcome to Just Ask Joyce. I'm Joyce Oglesby, your Family Life Fix-It Pro. We're going to get you fit for life and love today, God's way, every day. When you're dealing with me, I have a very special guest in store for you today. I am so excited to introduce you to this young lady. She's been a very special person of mine because her mother has been so special to me for many, many years. Well, not many, many years. I don't want to date myself that much, but anyway, now she has a beautiful young daughter, and she read Grandma's Jewels, and she was my youngest reader. Adeline Stutzman is coming up, and you are going to be so enthralled with her. Also today on Just Ask Joyce, we're going to tackle an email question from a daughter who hasn't spoken to her mother in 15 years. Imagine that. Well, I'm going to give you a plan that should help you step out of that estrangement with your mom after we talk to Ashley. See, I knew I was going to call her Ashley. Adeline is her name, and Ashley's her mom. So if I do that, you'll just have to forgive me because, you know, that's just where I get stuck sometimes. So already apologies to Adeline. Isn't she beautiful? I told you, I love it. Her hair, her countenance, everything about this young lady I love. But I'm just so enamored with the fact that you decided to read Grandma's Jewels at such a young age. You were 13.
Yes, ma'am.
So, all right, so you're an avid reader.
Yes, ma'am. I've read so many books, probably more than any of my brothers combined.
Well, that's pretty cool. So, you know, to me, that tells me you're going to be very, very smart. I know that you are. Your mom is very brilliant, and you have a brilliant dad, so the combination makes for a good child. But what intrigued you about Grandma's Jewels? I mean, that's, you know, almost a 700-page novel.
Well, probably the first thing is because you signed it for my mom and dad, and I just thought that was really cool.
Aw,
and the first page in any book is kind of what grabs you and pulls you in, and I liked how you described how the necklace was made and what it looked like, so that was probably what made me want to read the book.
All right, well, did you know that it was a multifaceted mystery before you opened it?
I did not, and that threw me through a loop because I was really confused on how the pages were set up, but I figured it out.
That's cool. Yeah, I tried to give you somewhat of a timeline in the book, but I know the mysteries just keep unfolding, and this, you know, saga of Grandma's Jewels and the legacy behind them, they just keep unfolding. And I don't want to give the book away for people who haven't read the book, but were you surprised at how many mysteries that there were? You know, it seems like almost, it's not every chapter because there's somewhat 54 chapters, but there were a lot of mysteries embedded.
Ma'am. It was like a 10-layer cake. Like you finish one and there's like a whole other thing you had no idea was coming.
I just love that. All right, so a lot of characters were involved. Did you have to do like a chronology, a little family tree or anything to keep them up, or you're probably astute enough to keep them all together?
Now that I've read it a couple times, I feel like maybe I should have, because I had to reread it a couple times to kind of get everybody straightened out, but no, ma'am.
All right, so who was your favorite character? Your best favorite, you know, that's hard to choose too, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am. Probably Carmen. Just because,
you like Carmen.
Yes, ma'am. She went through all the stuff she went through that no one should have had to go through, and she came out, you know, shining and just like an example of like a true mother. So, probably her. Well,
Grandma Grace was a pretty solid figure, not only in her family, but, you know, in the community of Savannah, Georgia. It's set in Savannah, Georgia. Did it do an okay job describing Savannah?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you been there?
But I'm sure it's exactly like how you said it was.
All right. So, and many facets of it are exactly how I said it. And you can even go to Emmett Park and sit on the bench, and so you'll have to kind of twist your mom and dad's arm to get them to take you there, because Savannah is beautiful, beautiful country. But Grandma Grace is a really significant figure in a lot of people's lives. And you know, the jewels that we talk about, of course, are the jewels that are on her neck, and they're stolen at her wake. But that, I think that people are fooled a little bit by thinking that's the only jewels that I'm talking about in the book. I think there are so many more valuable jewels in the book itself than just the jewels on her neck. Do you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so tell me, do you have a best favorite pearl of wisdom that Grandma Grace shared with? I'm going to take these and move them over here so I can see your beautiful face. How's that?
Oh, thank you.
It's like, all right.
Probably when she told Madeline that no one goes to hell unless they want to.
One of my favorite things. See, I just love you already. I knew that. Yes, you know, am I going to hell? Not unless you want to, you know. It's just, that was just so cool. One of my best favorite parts is one that when she gets an important phone call from England, the Queen of England, and Kathy Suberger knocks on her door, and she goes in, and Grandma, she tries to say, you know,
and
Grandma.
she refuses to stop praying.
She refuses. She's kneeling. She's praying, and she's like, "But you have an important phone call. It's from the Queen of England. You know, it's as in London. You know, like Buckingham Palace." And she's like, "Tell the Queen I'm speaking with God. She'll understand her place." When I wrote that, you know, it was in the middle of the night because I wrote my book, this book, from 10:30 to about 2 o'clock in the morning, and. When I wrote that, it was a showstopper for me. I mean, it was like, do I really make God a priority in my life? Would I dare interrupt, you know, with a text? If a text comes in, or if a phone call comes in, or somebody, would I just interrupt my praying life and my prayer time with God for that? And so it was really a showstopper for me, and I just love that. So tell me, I suppose, there are a lot of scenes in there. Now, I think there's some humor in there.
Yes, ma'am.
How did you like Jimmy?
He cracked me up. He cracked me up. He reminded me of Noah.
Oh, your brother.
He did. Oh my goodness, he cracked me up. Like when he got stitches and he was just making jokes about it. Noah did the exact same thing. I was just cracking up.
Oh, that's so cool. I just love that. And of course, you know, when he falls in the grave.
Yes, ma'am.
That was pretty awesome. But Jimmy has some stellar moments as well. There was a lot of depth to Jimmy, and we find that as the story progresses in Grandma's Jewels. Now, I'll just have to ask you, were you a little bit surprised that not everything ended the way we thought it should?
I don't know if I can say this. I don't want to ruin the book, but I cannot believe you killed off Bruce.
I know. It's like
why would you do that? That was so sad.
It was. You kind of just start loving Bruce, don't you?
I didn't like him at first because he was such a grouchy pants, but he ended up being so nice.
He was. But you know, he was a newfound Christian. He was learning how to be one. And I just loved how the development of his character came to be. But I just thought, you know, I think everybody expected him to live. And when he didn't, and I am giving away a little bit of it, yes, but when he didn't, that is life, Adeline.
Oh, I know, this is it all so terrible. And he didn't get to say that prayer at Christmas.
I'm sorry, I know. I didn't plan that either, you know. God just kind of directed me on this, and I just kind of had to go with his direction for me. But I know that life doesn't always turn out the way that we want it to, and of course his wife was a praying woman, you know, but even when we pray, things don't always turn out the way that we want it to. I think that's a valuable lesson for someone, not just your age, but for all of us, you know, because we have these expectations of what, you know, God is supposed to give us. I think, you know, okay, Lord, I'm praying this, and it has to, you know, because I'm praying it, you're going to answer this prayer. But God tells us answers in 3 ways: no, yes, and wait. And so sometimes we just have to understand that life just doesn't turn out the way we had anticipated it to be. But are there other valuable lessons that you wanted to share about Grandma's Jewels?
Well, you're making it a devotional, right? Is that what you're trying to do?
Well, I tell you, I've had someone ask me to make it into a workbook because I do a lot of book studies with people. Like there'll be book clubs that read the book together, and then they'll invite me to their home or to their church, and I'll sit and we'll go through it. And so I'm developing a work study with it because we just tie it in. It just ties in with life and God's plan for our life so well.
Well, that's what this book, a lot of books, they kind of skip over the bigger issues people don't really like want to mess with, like domestic abuse and sexual abuse. But this book, it kind of hits it all.
It does,
so,
doesn't it?
I mean, for people who have actually gone through that and have to work up from that, I think it'd be a great book to do with people, like a workshop, just because it hits every issue.
It does. There were a couple of family dynamics that God kept me back from, and I don't know why. I think He's waiting for the sequels. But there's just a plethora of family dynamics in Grandma's Jewels, but how she navigated life around it. And she didn't have an easy life either. Mm-hmm. I mean, she had, great loss, but she navigated it, and it did awesome. And she did good. And I'm so thrilled that you were my youngest reader, and she's told me that I'm her favorite author. So
you
just
are my favorite author.
Well, hopefully there'll be more to come. All right, guys, we're going to go to a break, and I'm going to address an email question. We're going to have just a little wrap up, and then we're going to come back and visit some more with this lovely, delightful young lady, Adeline Stutzman. Don't go away.
You're watching Just Ask Joyce, where real life and family values connect. Just Ask Joyce is brought to you by Guaranteed Total Construction, Window World, Nan's and Crafts Florists, Squire Boone Caverns, and About Face Spa and Salon.
Welcome back to Just Ask Joyce. Again, I'm your Family Life Fix-It Pro, getting you fit for life and love. And that is what we're going to do with this Window World email question today. This is from a woman who says, Joyce, I haven't spoken to my mom in 15 years. I heard your Mother's Day program, and I can't seem to shake the feeling that I need to heal this. But I'm not quite sure where to begin. I'm not sure if it's going to be well received. Can you give me some points? Well, yes, I can, and I'm happy to. And it delights me that you have been moved, convicted, if you will, to heal this relationship, because I can tell you, family relationships need to be healed. Life is too short to live estranged from the very people who are supposed to love you unconditionally. And we're supposed to love unconditionally. And so I'm going to tell you this, and this is, you just follow along with me. It'll start making sense, all right? Number one, make a move. Make a move. So many times we're stubborn, if you will, about apologizing. And I'm just going to take it a step further, because I not only want you to apologize, I want you to tell your mom, I need your forgiveness. I need your forgiveness, because, think about how that sounds. I forgive you, rather than I need your forgiveness. See, that puts all of it, we take it all on us, kind of like Christ did on the cross. He took all of our sins. He didn't commit a one, but He took them all. And so He gave us forgiveness, Well, we need that forgiveness. And you need to tell your mom, you just take the brunt of it. You just put yourself on the cross and just say, you know what, I need your forgiveness for how I treated. I understand that, things didn't go well, but Mom, life is short. Let's just heal this. Will you meet with me? Can I come over? Can we share a cup of coffee? Talk on the phone? Whatever it takes. But somebody has to make the first move, and maybe you have to be the adult in the situation. I understand you're an adult, but she's the more mature one. But you be the adult and make that first move, all right? Show your sincerity, because it has to be sincere. If it's not sincere, guess who's going to pick up on that more than anybody else? Mom. She knows you better than she knows grits. So make sure that you are sincere about this, and you're going to be in it for the healing, all right? Because it could be, as you said, not well received, but don't give up. Pray for opportunities. Pray for opportunities, because sometimes, we go in with these things expecting that, things are just going to happen, and they don't. And so you pray for an opportunity for the moment to come up that you can just say, Mom, can we talk about it? And maybe you'll run into each other at the grocery store, whatever, or I don't even know if you live in the same city, but you pray for an opportunity, and I'll tell you this, if you're sincere about making this relationship better with your mom, God's going to give you that opportunity. All right, and then seize the chance. If God puts the opportunity there, you seize it. Don't be worried about what you're going to say. He will supply you the right words, all right? But just be careful. Weigh your words carefully. Make sure that you don't trip all over them. Have a plan in mind. Know what you're going to say. And then remember the lesson. When I say that, you know, remember the lesson, what do you mean? Well, don't go back. Don't be repeating these things. Whatever it was, you need to explore maybe, you know, the fallout. You may not even remember all the details. It's been 15 years. But try to remember what it was that tripped you all up, and don't go back there again. Remember the lesson, all right? We're going to run to a quick break. We'll be back after this short one. Don't go away. If you're just tuning in, you are listening to the Just Ask Joyce show, where real life and family values connect. And if you're looking at the screen, you see my quote for the day. You can find that there on my Facebook page. Why don't you like me there? Follow me on Twitter, and you can get these. Healing doesn't mean a wound didn't occur, but that the memory is no longer cutting through the heart. And that is so important when you are trying to heal a relationship. You know, we have these blackberry bushes in our backyard, and my husband, my sweet little Webby, has taken so many careful pains to put down that black paper where the weeds won't grow up, and it's just such a pleasure to go out and pick. But we have a plethora of berries this year with the rain and all. God has just blessed us, and we have tons of blackberries. I love going out and picking those berries. But it is amazing that I go out and I see all these berries, and I think that I have gotten all of them. But when I walk around and I look at it from a different angle, guess what? I find a luscious berry peeking out from underneath a foliage, you know, one of the leaves, and I have to pull it back. And there's a secret there. There's that little berry hiding away. I want you to understand that when you start peeling back the layers of this situation with your mom, I'm going back to the email, that you know, you're going to find some hidden secrets maybe. You might not know why something you said triggered her to be angry with you, but explore it. Pull back the foliage and make sure that you do everything you can to find those hidden treasures, because your mom and you need to develop your relationship, because there is so much waiting for you. You've lost 15 years. Don't dare lose another day. Time marches on. It waits for no one. So explore those berry bushes, pull them back, crawl up under the ground and find all the berries, and get everything you can out of life and love. We'll be back to visit more with Adeline Stutzman and Grandma's Jewels, her great read. Don't go away. Thank you so much for joining me today. We are coming back to my very special guest, Adeline.
You called me Ashley again 3 times.
I knew I would. I did the disclaimer at the front, did I not? I said I probably would, and I did. I am so
okay,
sorry.
Everybody does.
I know, well, you look a lot like her. You do. You look like you're spewing from your mom's mouth.
I don't see it.
I know, it's so funny, but you'll see it when you get older. My girls tried to deny that too, that they look like me, but they do. Now when we go back to pictures, they're like, is this you or me, Mom? I love it. So anyway, you'll see. But Adeline, and I love her name. Isn't it beautiful? It's beautiful, almost as beautiful as she is. Oh. But this is, the one thing you have to understand is her spirit is as beautiful as she is. She is just as beautiful on the inside, and I just love it. But I love it because she's spirited. I love spirited girls. I do it. So yeah, if I call you Ashley, right there it is, Adeline. Your book is well used, girl.
I've read it like 6 times. 6 or 7 times.
I love it. 6 or 7 times. It's great. I love it. Well used. Look, I love that. Now, and so did you figure out who done it? You did?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you figure out the whole way? And we won't say it, but did you figure out whole way or just part way?
I think I figured it out whole way.
You did? So you picked
I
up
mean, after
the
6 or
first
7
time?
times.
Oh, the first time?
Oh, no,
Did
ma'am,
you?
like the 5th.
Oh,
Or
wow.
6th.
All
It
right.
took me a little bit.
All right. So you found the embedded.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, I know I told you who done it at the end, but you found the tips as you were rereading it.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
just love it. But you didn't the first time. Yay. There's only been 2 people that have figured out part of it. So that was
Really?
good, yes. So, and one person says she figured it out all. But anyway, so I think that's pretty good of the number of readers there's been that they just haven't figured it out.
Excellent
So
writing.
it kept your attention.
Yes, ma'am.
Obviously, if
I
you go
mean-
back and read it 7 times, it obviously kept your attention. When you go back and reread it, do you find other things that are like, wow, this is really cool?
Well, after I read it the 3rd or 4th time, I found out I had missed whole pages.
Wow.
So, I mean,
Like-
I think you should read it at least 3 times because I missed whole pages.
It's
So.
like, where was I when this was being read? Well, I have read it 13 times. I'm now on my 14th time. And I know, you understand, I know what's going to happen. And when I'm reading it, I'm like, really? This is so cool. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. You know, it's like,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
know. And so, anyway. All right, so you're homeschooled.
I am.
But you go to, now you have been homeschooled. Are you going to Christian Academy too? Have you been to Christian Academy? Some?
No, ma'am. I'm actually
Okay.
doing my school through Indiana University.
Your mother worked at Christian Academy, right?
Yes, ma'am.
I knew
She
there
was a teacher.
She was. I know and so homeschooling. I don't know what it is. You guys are just so smart. You are.
That's the rumor. Smart and very antisocial.
Well, I can kill the myth about the antisocial. You are everything but antisocial. You are a very sociable young lady, and I love your family. Your family has been very special to me for a lot of years. Your grandpa is just, you know, he's a delightful man. He teaches Bible school in our church. Richard Molyneux, to the people that know him, he's a lawyer, and he is a very well respected lawyer. But I fell in love with you guys because of Max. Just
Really?
wanted, yes, you know the stories of Max, and you know, so it's a very sweet story, and that's where I met your mom, and of course her sisters, and fell in love with just the whole family. We kind of adopted them, and y'all adopted me, and I just kind of love that. I really like that.
Yes.
So anyway, but you keep reading, you keep growing and studying and learning, and keep being spirited, will ya?
Yes, ma'am. I'll try my best.
I love it. I know it can drive your mom crazy sometimes, but I fought for one of my spirited children when I was bringing my girls up. One, you know, was a little very obedient child, and the other one was a little bit, you know, one of the strong-willed ones. But I fought for that spirit because it's a gift from God. God created us in the womb, and He put all those ingredients in you for a reason. He has a purpose for all of that. So don't break your spirit, but just be respectful. You can balance that out, can't you, Adeline?
Yes, ma'am. I think so.
So what grade are you in?
I'll be a sophomore, so I'll be going into 10th grade.
Yeah, very soon, graduating, very soon. Isn't that just great? Well, thank you so much for being an avid reader of mine, and I love it. Thank you, for your encouraging words and the fact that I am your favorite author. You're my favorite reader. How's that?
Of course you are.
All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me today right here on Just Ask Joyce. Be sure that you write me, justaskjoyce@gmail.com. If you have a relationship question, I can get you a plan that will make your life better for life and love. And in the meantime, I'm in battle for His cause.